I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Chicago have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change. With your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for mayor for the city of Chicago.
Paid for.
I could not rest. I could not rest. I could not rest if I've gotten mine and you haven't gotten yours. If I've gotten mine and you haven't gotten yours. If I've gotten mine and you haven't gotten yours, something just ain't right.
But there's a long tradition of these types of voices of conscience. So I just immersed myself in the world of St. Sabina and spent time with Father Mike and his peacekeepers and the community there and tried to learn as much as I could.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
My participation is only because of Mr. Spike Lee, our leader, our director, and he reached out to me and blessed me with the opportunity to be in this film and said that his mission was to save lives in the south side of Chicago.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, let me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
We are more than that. We are more than that. We're greater than that. And I feel like in places like this, or Chicago, or whatever you want to call it, the hood, whatever you want to call it, like, it's too much attention dwelled on the negative.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Hi, we're from Empire, and you're watching the Higher Learning Network.
So how long have you been standing here?
Not too long, like an hour. So we're moving in. Yes, this is a good sign.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
And you're watching ZTV on the Higher Learning Network. Got your head right.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Scott Winslow. I'm a volunteer for the Willie Wilson Charitable Foundation. I'm assisting Dr. Wilson this morning. We're going to introduce one guest speaker, a contributor to the Willie Wilson Foundation, someone who has given their own money to the foundation. Then we're going to bring up former Senator Ricky Hendon, who will introduce Dr. Wilson. So first I'd like to introduce Mr. Charles Thomas, a well-known and prominent Chicago citizen who is also an individual contributor to the Willie Wilson Foundation. He has donated his own funds to the foundation and has been present when they've been distributed to people of need around the city of Chicago. Mr. Thomas.
First of all, my presence here has nothing to do with politics. This is about, I've known Willie Wilson for many years, and I've seen Dr. Wilson's philanthropic work over the years. And a couple of years ago, I don't know the exact date because I guess it's really none of my business to have that kind of detail, but I know that he formed the Willie Wilson Foundation, which afforded people like myself an opportunity to join him in his philanthropic efforts. It is a registered 501c3, is that right? Yeah. And I made donations during 2017, and within a week after making the donation, I received a letter from the foundation on foundation letterhead chronicling my donation, and I felt very good about it because I was able at that point to join Dr. Wilson in his philanthropic effort to help the black community. And this is an opportunity that I hope others will take advantage of moving forward. And to think that there would be an investigation of a black man trying to help black people in the city of Chicago, to me, is outrageous. And this is something he's been doing for many years. And again, the Willie Wilson Foundation afforded people like myself an opportunity to join in that effort and to read that there would be an investigation or demand for investigation of something like this is, is beyond me. I can't understand why something like that could happen. And that basically is my comment. Again, this is not about politics. This is about helping people. This is about this man's work, which is rooted in his deep Christian beliefs. And I'm proud to have joined him in that effort. Thank you.
Amen. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Chicago have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change. With your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for mayor for the city of Chicago.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Now introduce a prominent individual from Chicago, former state senator, Mr. Ricky Hendon.
Thank you. I'm also a former alderman, so I know how those snakes work, okay? I wanted to introduce two people, two candidates who are running for alderman. I know this is not about politics, but it actually, they made it into this, that are running. Edgar Esparza, he's running in the 30th Ward to replace some of the corrupt aldermen in the city council, and we have Creative Scott, who's running against Michael Scott in the 24th Ward. And we wanted Creative to be here because Michael Scott is one of the sponsors of this resolution in the city council that calls for a class 4 felony against Dr. Wilson and against any citizen, be it a homeless person or a senior citizen, any citizen that Dr. Wilson helped and accepted his help. We're here today, and I wanted to go over a couple of things. First of all, I served with Lisa Madigan when she first came to the Illinois Senate in 1998. We always respected Lisa. I consider her a friend. She was a bright, shining, rising star in the Senate, and I could always depend on her. I was chairman of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus at the time, and me and Lisa voted 95% of the time about the same. I could always depend on her. And that's one reason it saddens me that she has gone forward answering the call of these aldermen in City Council Resolution 834 to investigate and send Dr. Wilson to jail for helping poor people with his own money. Helping poor people with his own money. Helping poor people with his own money. It's just ridiculous, especially given the fact that Mayor Rahm Emanuel just gave $55 million of taxpayers' money, tax increment financing money. Mayor Rahm Emanuel just gave $55 million of taxpayers' money, tax increment financing money. Mayor Rahm Emanuel just gave $55 million of taxpayers' money, tax increment financing money, to his friend, billionaire King Griffey. And those of you in the media reported it as a wonderful thing. And then Griffin turned around and gave Rahm Emanuel's police force $10 million to stop fighting the murders in April. And guess what? They still shooting, aren't they? So what was that? If that's not pay for play, you get 55, you give back 10. I'll take a $45 million profit. And why does a multi-billionaire, richest man in the state, need taxpayers' money? And then Rahm Emanuel recently gave his friend who had a mortgage company, prime lender, probably sent many people into foreclosure, 5 times more training money to bring people from his business in Kansas when he actually only trained people in Chicago that was already in it. Now he has a bank, and the same banker turned around and loaned Manafort, who's on trial, you all know right now, Trump's guy, $16 million. And the person who hooked up the deal got $700,000 from the bank. But they want to look at Dr. Willie Wilson for giving $50 to the poor or $500 to the poor. They've accused this man of buying votes, and I just have to say it. Unfortunately, and I've fought against this kind of stuff for some time as alderman, buying votes on the west side, the south side, votes about $5, $10. So if Willie Wilson is giving somebody $3,000 as an advisor, I'd be like, you're overpaying by 1,500%. Because if we wanted to buy votes, it's $5, $10 on the west side and the south side. So let's just be real about that. All right. There was a lot of you have run with this story about the foundation not being in good standing with the Attorney General. Well, let me just give you a rundown of timeline. On September the 13th of 2017, Dr. Willie Wilson Foundation mailed a check to the AG for $15, and the check reference number is number 365. In addition, which was required, on October 4th of 2017 now, the foundation paid the check, the $315 that was required for the filing, and we assumed everything was fine. The check was registered, it was accepted by the Attorney General's office. Only after Dr. Wilson gave away the money at the church on the 22nd, we get a notice on the 23rd that you're not in compliance. And they sent the check back. And why did they send the check back? They said the check is no longer good. Well, hell, if you sit on the check 10 months, of course it's not good. They sat on his paperwork. What happened to his paperwork? The paperwork was filed. They sent the check back. They sent the paperwork. Oh, you missed a couple of things. And, well, why would it take the Attorney General's office 10 months to notify the charitable trust and then expect the check to still be good? So we have all of that for you, where they're saying send us a new check because your old check is no longer valid. It's no longer valid. What happened to the paperwork? Did it fall behind someone's desk and then suddenly reappeared when Dr. Wilson became a candidate for mayor and started surging in the polls? What happened for those 10 months? So Dr. Wilson is making sure that we send in a new check and everything should be all right. They gave us a little checklist of things that they wanted, and all of them are being done right now. So we just say to the press, before you run with something, at least check. All you had to do is check with us, and we will let you know that we filed everything. I have it right here. They got a checklist off of everything that was required and everything that was done. And then at the bottom, and I will read it to you, under other, they say, we are returning check number 365 for the $315 because it has expired. Please remit a new check. Now you pay your rent, right? your mortgage, and the mortgage company sit on your mortgage check that they got for 10 months and foreclose you. Is that right? I don't think it's right. The foundation did what it was supposed to do. Somebody lost the paperwork. We don't know who, but we would like to ask our esteemed Attorney General to look into that. What happened to Dr. Wilson's paperwork for 10 months? It pops up in 2018, but it was filed in 2017. Now, everybody know I've been an alderman, and I have this resolution here that Michael Scott, Ray Lopez, Joe Moore, and Brendan Riley all filed in the City Council. It takes the four. A House resolution, City Council resolution R2 2018-834. And if you read it, it calls for Class 4 felony charges against anybody who accepted Dr. Wilson's money, as well as Dr. Willie Wilson. But what about them? So because of them, I have advised Dr. Willie Wilson that we have to cancel our school supply giveaway to these kids that's going back to school. You know they need the school supplies. The teachers can't afford to just keep coming out their pockets and purses, and the parents can't afford the $200-300 for school supplies. And now, when the teachers give you that list, if they ask for Kleenex and you get any other tissue, they send it back. They want exactly what they're requesting on that list. So we're going to have to cancel that. Who suffers? The children. Also, we're canceling our Thanksgiving food giveaway, even though the aldermen are going forward with their Thanksgiving food giveaway. My alderman is Walter Burnett, and he and Jesse White give away turkeys and hams every year. We don't want to say stop doing it because we don't want the black folk mad at us and poor people. And Willie Wilson's helped everybody. But they knock on our doors. I ate that butterball last year. I ain't gonna lie. It was good. Every year, they knock on our doors. They hate turkeys, hams. And then on the way, they say, don't forget us. Is that buying votes? So if Willie Wilson has to cancel his school supply giveaway, has to cancel his Thanksgiving food giveaway, and then we will have planning our Toys for Tots for Christmas. Y'all know some of these babies ain't have no Christmas if we don't help them parents. Because if the parents don't have no jobs, because Rahm Emanuel's stolen all the money, stolen all the jobs, emptied out the African American community, any kind of economic development, the parents don't have money to pay for these toys. So who's going to suffer at Christmas? Not Willie Wilson, not Ricky Hendon. The children are going to suffer. So who suffers when you stop a man from giving out of his heart to poor people? And I'm going to tell you why they're doing it. They're doing this because all of our polls and Rahm's internal polls show that Dr. Willie Wilson has surged up in the mayor's race. So I've told Dr. Wilson because he's the front runner now, he may as well turn his pockets inside out, show all his teeth, like the slaves used to have to do on the slave block, and get ready to drop his drawers and turn around backwards, and he's going to get a full rectal examination from the Chicago City Council. He may as well get ready for that, because that's what's coming next. The man has done absolutely nothing wrong. And it's a shame. It sends a horrible message. The alderman in the City Council, and I'll be done, actually told the young children who came to the Black Caucus meeting, trying to talk to them about this violence and things we could do to reduce this violence. They said to the young people, and you all didn't even report it, we are the real gangsters. That's what the alderman told the kids. We the real gangsters. And we will throw down on you. And everybody know what throw down mean in the street. I mean, they'll shoot somebody. They will kill somebody. So if the children are going to emulate and be like our esteemed leaders, the aldermen, the city council, and they're telling the kids, we the gangsters, and they said that out of their own mouth. Sawyer said, yeah, we the gangsters. And they all laughed and partied and had a good time. So what are you saying to the babies? How are you going to get the guns off the street and stop the violence if the city council members are telling the kids, we the real gangsters? Don't they know the city council? And I looked up the word gangster. You know what it means? Crooks, criminals, those who resort to violence and any means necessary to get whatever they want out of the people. And I challenge you, Google gangster. That's what the alderman said. So when the kids see that, they're like, well, if they gangsters, we gangsters. In order to stop the violence, we need somebody like Willie Wilson. This is not about the mayoral campaign, but we need some new aldermen. We need somebody who ain't not going to say to the children, we're the gangsters, and not say to somebody who's given out of their heart that you're a crook. And if you accept it, you're a criminal as well. It is ridiculous. ridiculous. Well, it is ridiculous. So we're asking the AG that if Dr. Wilson, and we said this to the Illinois Campaign for Political Reform when we met with them, we asked them about the alderman giving away stuff. They were like, oh, it's okay. Well, some of those aldermen pay for that stuff out of their campaign fund. Is that buying votes? And even if they get it donated, like what Michael Scott did, Subway gave him a lot of food, boxes for the seniors. He put his picture on the box. Is that buying votes? Right before election time. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We want those children to be able to get those school supplies. We want the families who are hungry to be able to get that food. We want those children to get those Christmas toys. But if Dr. Willie Wilson can't do it, we want the aldermen investigated who do what they're saying Dr. Wilson can't do. They can't have it both ways. I introduce my friend, one of the best human beings that I know who really cares about the poor, Dr. Willie Wilson.
All right, thank you, Dr. Henderson. Let me first thank the Lord for another day, and to the people who stand behind me and those who's here, and also to the news media for covering this event today. I want to remind you of just here for the audience who'll be looking at the news tonight. The scripture said, when I was hungry, you fed me.
Well.
And when I was thirsty, you gave me water. When I was sick, you visited me in the hospital. And when I was in prison, you went into the prison and you visit me. Those things that I try to follow the best of my ability. Let me establish this here as well, and that is that I've been doing this for the last 25 or 30 years. Back in 1995, front page article, the Wall Street Journal, state that right then and there I was giving millions of dollars away. If you want to look at the Wall Street, just go to williewilsonformayor.com. You'll find it there. Or if you can go on Willie Wilson Facebook, you'll find the Wall Street Journal there. It stated way back in 1995. All right. We'll help people with property taxes, not only in Chicago, but you can interview them. People live in Maywood can't vote for me. People live in Evanston can't vote for me. People in Dallas, Texas can't vote for me. People in California, New York, Atlanta, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Florida, Arizona, and on and on and on. Those people cannot vote for me. I have checks and record to prove all of that. If you look at my income taxes, every year we give an approximate anywhere from $800,000 to millions of dollars to the churches for their outreach programs every year. Prior to 2 years ago, when I created the foundation, that money was coming from myself personally. All right. Every year, we give out approximate $300,000 plus in my pocket to people on the street who need food, people in the women's shelter who don't have food to eat, a bus fare, anything like that. People who call me and say, I'm sleeping in a van, can you help me have a place to live? People at home call me and say, Dr. Wilson, I need to have some eyeglasses. I'd love to see again. Can you help me with eyeglasses? One guy called me and said, Dr. Wilson, I don't want any money, but if you can just come and buy me one part for my wheelchair that I can roll around and get from door to door. these kind of situations that we go into to help. People who call me and been burnt out, have no place to go. We go and we help them. A couple a month ago or so came to me, and a white couple. It doesn't matter what color you are, but this just happened, came up and said, we came from Arkansas, and we got to Chicago and we was robbed. And now we're trying to stay in this shelter. But we had to take a number in order to be able to have a bed at night. And we need money to get back home. I went in my pocket and gave him $1,500 to $2,000 to get back to Arkansas. These are things that the rich people, Ron Emanuel, don't do. These are things that the rich people, Ron Emanuel, don't do. These are things that the rich people, Ron Emanuel, don't do. Ron Emanuel should be ashamed of himself. He is a crook. Ron Emanuel should be ashamed of himself. He is a crook. All right? He takes the poor people money and give it to his rich friend. All right? He takes the poor people money and give it to his rich friend. The contract that he give to his friend, turn around and donate back to his campaign. Why aren't they investigating that? Why aren't they investigating that? Today, I'm going to ask the Attorney General, 2 people running for mayor. If you investigate one, I ask her to investigate him. Right? All of these dollars that come from in terms of the school, shut down the school, all right, in minority neighborhood, but didn't shut down the ones in the white community, right? Ask her to investigate that. You robbed the community of its resources. Ron Emanuel he's been a bad mayor for the city of Chicago, and we're going to see to him that he has to leave.
All right.
Yes. And so Chicago will never be the same after this day. My good friend Senator Henry is right. Crooked alderman, vote every time, vote with him. I asked Attorney General Lisa Madden to investigate him and cover up for Laquan McDonald's. The person shot 16 times. He don't even cover up. I asked her today, if you're going to be fair, Mr. Attorney General, I asked for her to look into that as fair as a citizen who pays his taxes, all right? There is nothing wrong with my paperwork. Look, and even if it was, then I'll be robbing like Robin Hood from the rich and paying the poor. As a completion of our $300,000 commitment, $200,000, $300,000 commitment, we had to put some yesterday. I think yesterday about 150 people got checked for $500.
All right.
On the 1st of September, we'll be down at the treasury office again. The rest of them will get $500 a piece as well. But we also supply those who need food to eat, don't have a place to stay. I was raised in South Jim Crow days. I'm just tired of white people telling me what to do. Come on. Tired. With my own money. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Neighborhood schools are the hearts of a community. It's where our kids learn, meet, and make friends. Friends they know in school and can associate with after school. It's why parents connect with other parents. Closing schools changes this and make our kids stranger in an unfamiliar neighborhood. Together, let's find a solution to reopen our schools and help them flourish.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.